So as I said, generally speaking, setup down the line looks great. Occasionally, and it is very, very occasionally, your left-hand grip gets a little on the weaker side. Now, you are probably someone who naturally grips it on a weaker side, but if it just keeps going and going and going, the hinge of the wrist will be difficult from that spot. So therefore, it might encourage you, as you see on this left-hand one, to kind of almost like hinge the wrist straight away, because you want to try and really get that hinge going into. But the club going out there now, sort of halfway back, the club's sort of too far outside your hands. You've now got to make an adjustment to get the club kind of working behind, which will generally come with like fanning the wrist or rolling them over. So you kind of lost your structure there in the backswing. So this move here now, the right side, right shoulder, right hip, everything's moving out of the way straight away as you go back. And the wrist hinge now is happening. So we get to there, perfect, yeah? That club's nicely in line. If I go back a frame, there you go. There we go. Absolutely spot on. Club line, toe line, club shaft line, everything's working well. You maintain your structure there with your spine angle and your arms and hands. Now as you start going back, you start hinging your wrist. Club's nicely on plane. Top of the backswing really good. And now you're able to come up and down on a very, very similar angle to what you went back to, okay? So if we sort of put a spot on your hands there, okay? Top of the backswing. Pretty good spot. You're back on the same spot, back on a good angle here now. Good path, good shoulder structure. And we can release you towards target, starting that ball online nicely, okay? Whereas, unfortunately, this one here now, when you hit the golf club back, you've got to try and almost get it back onto plane. So that club, for me, is a little on the flatter side, and then you try and tip it over the top. So we can see the shaft there is a bit steeper. I'll make sure, unfortunately, but you'll see. As opposed to that one there. Here you see, yeah? So it's kind of gone out, flattened, and then gone, oh, I better go back over the top. So rather than your swing plane, looking down the line, although the swing's a circle, we want to see you sort of swinging up a plane line here. What you tend to see is you kind of go out above it, back underneath it, then back on top of it. And yeah, sometimes you'll get back on a good spot, as you did. It's not a bad spot on this one, but how you get there sometimes is going to be a little bit kind of, and this is when you can see obviously going a bit more out to the right there because of the way you kind of move the club in and out. Whereas this one here, yeah, good line, be a good start, wouldn't it? Right. If we get this one here now, sort of on there, so you work underneath it nicely there now, underneath it there nicely now, underneath it there nicely now, back underneath. It's just an easy way to do it, to be fair. Rather than having lots of variables, up, down, left, right, and all over the place, you're just swinging the club back on a better plane, a more consistent way of playing it. Okay?
Cool.
Make sense?
Yes.
Good stuff. Right, let's have a couple more then. But I think you said back from the video we sent through, you were fanning the club inside.
Yeah.
You try to stop that by going out here.
Yes,
then you just encourage that even more. So, yeah. So you've got to turn the right side, and then the wrist hinge happens straight away. So turn and hinge, not just hinge too quick. I know it's in the first session, you probably can't hinge too quickly.
Yep.
You've got to that point now where you can,
Yeah.
Okay, mate? Otherwise, very good.